Hi, this is Kim Leppert with Flyleaf Counseling. I recently had an experience that actually kind of gave me a mind blow, and I thought I'd share it with you guys today. I was doing an online training with a neuroscientist, and he was talking about the functions of the brain and all that kind of thing and how they work. And in the first 5 minutes of it, he quoted another scientist where he said, your brain is like Velcro for negative memories and Teflon for positive memories and good things, and moved on. And I thought, well, yeah, we know that. We know that we tend to, stay negative sometimes, or we remember negative. And sometimes people even ask me, I don't understand why, he or she can only remember the negative things that happened because there were so many good things. But I never really knew why. And so somebody in the audience, and if you've ever met me, you know that this would probably be me sitting in the audience because I have to know why. I can't just accept things for just how they are. This is not how my mind works. So somebody in the audience, my kindred spirit, says, why? And he says, and this is where I went, he said, because your brain is geared for survival. Every single function of your brain is geared for bringing in information that contributes to your survival. And good memories are great, but if we remember all of the bad things, those are going to keep us from getting into bad situations. They're going to teach us resilience. They're going to teach us how to discover danger. And our brain doubles down on memory when it comes to negative things because we need to survive. And it just completely shifted for me. Well, no, that's a lie. It didn't shift anything. It connected for me so many different things. And so we have gratitude journals, and we have, Oprah talking about, her days of gratitude. And around Thanksgiving, we do a whole gratitude calendar. And I just understood why we have to do that. It made sense to me logically. It made sense to me. But I want to kind of go a little bit further because my experience has been that gratitude can be sometimes more difficult than joy. And I encourage my folks to look for joys instead of gratitudes. When people start looking for gratitudes, the first thing they'll say is like, my health, I have a home, I have a family, I have a job, I have a car, I have healthy kids, all of those big giant things that we see to be grateful for. And those are nice, but one, if you got some hard struggles, it's going to be hard to find gratitudes. And the other is that if you're depressed, you may have all of those things going for you, but you're still depressed. And so we wonder why, if I have this great life and all these things going on, I'm still depressed. What's wrong with me? So I always talk about joys, and joys are little. Joys are those tiny little things that happen throughout the day. And I would gather to say, and I would challenge all of you, that there is not a person that has a day that doesn't experience a joy. A joy can be the sip of your coffee in the morning before you get out the door. A joy can be waking up to the smell of the coffee. A joy can be making all of the green lights on your way to work. A joy can be a smile. A joy can be being kind to somebody and letting them get in line in front of you and seeing their gratitude for that. A joy can be anything. It can be, you can find joy in watching other people interact. There's just so many different things that you can find joys in. My favorite one to share is years ago I was running, and I remember my head was throbbing and I could hear my heartbeat in my brain because it was so hot that day, and I could barely catch my breath. And I stopped and I took a big inhale, and I was just feeling worn down and miserable. And when I inhaled, I smelled honeysuckle, and it was the most beautiful smell ever. And it just, noticing it made the rest of my run a whole lot easier. And if we recognize that we have these small joys throughout the day and kind of string them together, what we'll see is that we're not having bad days every day. Even if you're depressed, if somebody's like completely depressed and wants to be left alone, I always ask them, how do you feel when you tell someone to go away and they actually leave? And they're like, oh, I feel better. I'm like, there's your joy. You can't not experience a joy every day. So at the end of the day, if you just write down 2 words that say, this was my joy today, you'll start looking for them. And the more you start looking for them, the more you start noticing them. And the more you start noticing them, the more you start realizing you can create them. And creating joys for yourself and other people is a beautiful thing. And I ask my clients when they come in, share a joy with me. Or when I was doing group, I haven't done group in a while. When I was doing group, I would say, tell me what your joy is for the week. And in the beginning, people would come up with the same 3 things over and over and over again. And then after a while, it became a thing where they would go, I had like 5 and I have to choose one of them. And they go, yep, only one. And you end up noticing that you have so many joys in your life that you almost have a hard time remembering which one was your favorite for the day, because they are moments. It's not a state of mind. Joy is a moment, and we have to pay attention to them and put them in our pockets and keep them with us. So I always tell people, instead of a gratitude journal, start a joy journal. Another nice thing you can do is we have at our house is a joy jar. So you have a little piece of paper or a pad of paper and a pen. And if you experience a joy, you write it down and put it in the jar. And then kind of as a family, you read it together. And remember that you had joys for the last few weeks. And it can be the sunrise or the sunset. It could be waking up, which is my favorite, to a quiet house before everybody else wakes up, and getting to have some of my coffee in the morning when everything is still and quiet. That's my joy. And so what's yours? Spend some time in that and notice those things that make you happy, and notice those things, those little things that bring you joy, and know that if you're not intentional on remembering those things, you will soon forget them, because our brain is not geared for holding on to those beautiful, kind, sweet things unless they're really big things. Your daily things, we don't really remember those. So I hope you have a good week. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you find some beautiful joys today. For more information about Flyleaf Counseling, go to flyleafcounseling.com, our Facebook page, Flyleaf Counseling, and you can find us on YouTube at Flyleaf Counseling. And I guess that's all for now. Have a good afternoon.